bit. There are some things that are expected out of a lady, and there are certain things that are expected out of a man culturally. So we'll go into those dynamics as well. The ones that are expected from a man and from a woman. But I'll read some comments because it's a live chat. Guys, go ahead and give your opinions on the topic of discussion. Can you love someone who is broke but ambitious? And Dina says someone broke and ambitious may try to compete with their dreams, and may become their second place of priorities. Oh, Elisa says bye. Sorry, my dear. I hope you don't leave. You stay. You never know. And Shaboya says, can you marry a rich man but is not really ambitious and becomes broke? Then what? You can marry a rich man but is not really ambitious and becomes broke. Then what? Now, the dynamics can be different. If I married you rich, the reason why you became rich is because you were ambitious in the first place. You are not settling with where you are. That's why you became rich. Not so many people are rich. That means the brains to keep you up being rich will still be there, except you married a foolish woman who is out to just deplete the resources, spend and spend and spend, minus constructive utilization of resources. So that's a different thing if he was rich and then became broke. But again, sometimes life happens where someone is rich and then bad luck happens and they become broke. Yeah, like she said, then what? I would say this, if someone is rich and they have money today, invest it. Because if you invest and you land on bad luck, at least there is something to fall back on that you can work your way up again and make it. I think that's what I would look at, Shaboya. And Shaboya says, but things can happen. Yes, things can happen. And God leaves your side like Job. Oh my goodness, that was a very terrible time for Job. Yes, that was a sad time like for Job. We just have to, many times when we are marrying, when people are rich, they go looking for the wrong things in women. Because I am rich, I can afford any girl. So I don't go looking for someone who will build me, who will add to me, but I go looking for looks. And looks have never added riches. Looks have never been a replacement for brains. Those two things are different. The problem is when men have money, then they start looking, I can afford any girl. So while he's driving his nice car, he sees this lady passing by that has got this looks a certain way. They just go stopping and they take anyone. You'd also need to invest in time in looking wisely to who you should take. Because just because you have money doesn't mean any girl you pick will be able to add to that money or build you. Like Job, it is so easy to get a woman when you're rich, but when you're poor and at your lowest, it is hard. So if you can find someone at your lowest, like Shaboya said, that is the genuine thing. And if you can keep it, keep it. Because it's so easy to make friends when you're rich, but it's hard when you're not rich. When you don't have money, you have very few friends. Many times you are alone and you have no one on your side. That's what brings us back to the topic of discussion. Can you love someone who is broke but ambitious? Yeah, it gets us back to the same thing. And Dina says, being broke means making poor choices, weak discipline, and no understanding of how the real world works. I think, Dina, you're being too harsh on someone being broke. I know it is true. And TJ says, I disagree, Dina. Not every broke person made poor choices. That is so true. I agree with TJ. Sometimes you are born into a poor family. You were born and things changed. Maybe you were born in a rich family and Like Shaboya said, you get jobs luck and your kids. This time your kids don't die, but they don't have better, things growing up, and their future is laid up a certain way. But that doesn't mean you don't have understanding of things. I actually don't agree with you on that one. Someone can be broke but has these ideas. Have you noticed that the rich people like hanging out with poor people? Because poor people, all they do is have dreams and ideas. And those rich people go and hang out with them and steal their ideas and give them life, and they are set for life. They normally don't have ideas because they are busy protecting and developing the businesses they've started. So when they hang out with the poor, they get to hear poor people saying, if I was rich, I would buy land and sell it and make profits off like this. And the next thing, the rich man is buying land because he can afford and is investing. So I think, Dina, you're wrong on that one. Poor people or people who are broke can really have ideas and understand things better than you think. I don't agree with you on that one. And TJ said, yeah, God can be testing you by allowing you to stay in a brokenness like Job. In brokenness like Job. Yeah, it could be God. That is why I'm saying, can you love someone who is broke but ambitious? It's a live chat, guys. Go ahead. Let me know your opinion on this one. It would really help shed light. And now I wanted to go to the gender and culture expectations of, can you love someone that is broke but ambitious? Let's get into the uncomfortable truth. How does gender shape this conversation? How does the gender shape this conversation? Are women judged more harshly for dating broke men? Are women judged more harshly for dating broken men? I want to hear your opinion on that one. Yes, they are, Shaboya says. Why? Why are women, the question is, are women judged, yeah, more harshly for dating broken men? And if so, why is it that way? Is it only in the African culture, or is it also in the Western culture? Because I know in the African culture, you need to bring a man home who has a car, who lives in a certain place, works in a certain office. It's paramount that you do that, because you can't just bring any riffraff at home and say, this is my husband to be, because no one really is thinking that love can feed, can parent. So I need to hear from you. Are women judged more harshly in culturally speaking for dating broke men? And why? Are men expected to build with broke women? I also need to hear that one. And Dina says, Hebrews 11 says, I need to hear what Dina has to say. Does it say a man who has no money, who is broke, lacks understanding? I need to hear what that Hebrews 11 says. Please read it for us. And Shaboya says, because some people may think they are making a mistake and will live and die in poverty. Oh, so that's why women are judged more harshly for dating broke men. That is something. Because your situation today does not determine your future. I need to hear from Lydian. Are women judged more harshly for dating broke men? And I need also to hear from Rogers. Rogers, I need to hear, are men expected to build with broke women? Because Rogers, I know your perspective on women who don't have money. So I need to hear. Any gentleman, Bereket, Mr. Bereket, if you're there, are men expected to build with broke women? Please let me know. And Cedric and Jasper, any gentleman that is on, I also want to hear from you. And Lillian says it's the family that expects the woman to get a rich man because of what they expect to gain from the in-laws. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like African culture, we tend to pay dowry that is really heavy. We pay bride price where they bring cattle. There's a lady I saw yesterday. And there's a gentleman that was talking to her and said, I would really like to marry you. What would it take? And she said, 100 cows, bluntly. And the man says, that means if I brought one, they would not give. No. And it seemed like it's even absurd to mention one cow. She wanted 100 cows for you to take her. So I bet you she'll wait for a man who'll bring 100 cows. And when he doesn't come, I think she'll just be there serving drinks like where I met her. Anyway, but that is just my opinion. And Lydian, what you're saying is true. Shaboya says people may think they may have kids to live in poverty. Yeah, that is true. Generally, why parents do that is because they are trying to look out for their kids, to see that when they leave their houses, they are going to a safer place, not to a worse place where life would turn out to be they are begging on the street or homeless. So normally it's from a good place that they are looking for their kids to go to better homes and with a man who has already set up. Now, it gets me asking that question, are men expected to build with broke women? Because also us women can be broke. You find me, I come from a poor family, my mother needs this, my father needs, my siblings need to go to school. Also, women can be broke, and I never even went to school. And the moment I get married to you, it's like you're my ticket out of poverty. You need to meet every other need that I have. So, is it expected of men that they build with broke women? Because if that is the case, then it's also not fair. Because it should be two-way traffic. You come with something, I come with something, then we together build a beautiful thing. Or we meet each other fresh from school, or we meet each other at work. We all have nothing and build our way up. Than it being expected that the man has got to already have a set life where the woman just brings her head and these other things that don't really add up much. Because, like I said, when rent is required, you cannot say, I came with a big bust. That doesn't cut it. And Dina says, Hebrew 11:13 says that they died in faith and not having reached. Oh my goodness, I want to read what Dina wrote. She says, they died in faith, not having received anything, having seen them from afar off. So those were dreams not accomplished. And you died broke. Oh, Dina, you're so harsh. Because I think this is talking about something else, not necessarily broke, a broke person. But that is your take. I like your opinion. Thank you. And TJ says, and the woman to build the home. Shaboya says people may think they may have kids to live in poverty. People, yeah. And then TJ says, and the woman to build the home. Oh, those are expectations. Yes. Remember, I talked about women judged more harshly for dating broke men. TJ says, I think it's okay for a man to date a broke woman because it's the man in most homes to support the financial situation more than the woman, and the woman to build the home. Okay, now I get it. So their expectation, culturally speaking, that the man should support financially and then the woman should build the home. Okay, I see. But you see, why are the Western world? I need also other opinions from other people like Rogers, like Lillian. Culturally speaking, where you guys are, because I know you, Rogers, you're in the UAE. How are things done there? And I need to hear from Lillian. What are the dynamics like? Are women judged more harshly for dating broke men? Or is it the other way around? Because I think in the Western world, you meet and become partners. They actually use the word partners because we meet, everything is split 50-50, not in this other ridiculous way how we do things, where the man is expected to foot everything. Even when I'm working, you're supposed to give me money for my hair, you're supposed to give me money for clothes. You know, there are some expectations that are really not realistic, and they've not helped our relationships at all. Shaboya says it's not expected for men to marry broke women all the time. Sometimes it's okay to be at the same level. Now, have you realized that men dynamics have changed? I need to hear from a man. Men also these days want someone who comes with, and they call it marrying well. You marry well. Someone who has got something to their name. You just don't marry anyone, any riffraff. It's got to be you've got something. Now men have also evolved, guys. They are looking for someone with something. Yeah, no longer is it a broke girl coming to my house bringing what? So men also, at least Ugandan men have changed. They want, since we are advocating for equality, men want someone who comes with something. But at the end of the day, I'll give you my opinion. The question still remains, can you love someone who is broke, whether it's a woman or it's a man? Can you love someone that is broke but ambitious? That's the question. And cultural double standards and relationships across Africa, the West and beyond are different. Would you date someone who is broke but passionate about their dreams? Okay, maybe we can put it that way. Would you date someone who is broke but passionate about their dreams? Halfway through, we've already stirred up the pot and we've had real stories discussed, expectations, and now it's time to dive into the emotional side. The emotional side of loving someone that is broke but ambitious. And let's talk feelings. When you are the one holding it down financially or emotionally, it gets heavy. Let's just agree, guys. So, like, I'm the one who is supposed to, I'm the man, I'm the one holding it down financially, emotionally. It really gets, you get the lowest, the smallest, shortest part of the stick. It's not easy. It always tips over because it gets really heavy. You're the one supposed to make sure bills are paid, fees for kids once they come into play are paid, rent, uh, clothes, feeding, all that. It gets to be heavy. Even when you have so much, it needs to be balanced in a way that the lady also plays a part in balancing. Now, if I'm supporting you emotionally, say like I'm the man and you're a broke girl and I'm paying for your hair, I'm paying for your parents' medical, I'm paying rent, I'm paying for our food, the transport, everything, it gets to be heavy. Let's just be real. Resentment can start from there, from being the breadwinner, because everything falls on you. You start looking at this person as this load that is heavy for you to carry. It's like you carry them everywhere, everywhere. That is why many relationships can start off okay, but then over time you give up. I hope if you're one that believes in loving someone that is broke but ambitious, you don't give up before actually getting to the prize. And there's also the emotional burnout in building phases, because emotionally I could be trying to balance, to support you and encourage you to get to your dreams. Like this lady that I was telling you about, who sold her mother's house that she had left her with and supported the man's dream. But along the way, 10, 15 years later, because actually I didn't tell you this bit of the story, she kept on getting pregnant. And the man kept on telling her, we are not ready financially to support a child. So do an abortion and take that baby out. So she kept on doing abortions. Yeah. And by the time the woman got tired, because the siblings came into play and told her, you can't stay with this man. Look, you've been married 15 years. He's not getting anywhere. You're still living in the same place. You sold her mom's house and things have still not worked out. Yeah. the woman gave up and they got her a man who had something at the time, but it was just something. He was working in a truck company where they were driving goods across the state. Now, later the deal pulled through, the man became a millionaire, and that was for a lifetime. Yeah. But when he became a millionaire, that was easy for him to find someone. It was so easy. Once you have money, it is so easy to find someone. Love comes easily. And again, I would say to those of you who have money, guys, don't be quick to settle because you have money. Because even when I would not look at you because you don't have money, I would look your way because you have money. Not necessarily that I love you. You could actually be one of those, take away the money and you came talking to me, I wouldn't even spend time with you. Why? Because I'm after money. Now, it is so easy for someone, from love to come, like I call it, we quote it in Uganda or Africa, that money can solve just about anything. People can really settle as long as someone has money. I know of ladies that have been in loveless relationships simply because the man had a big account. So just because you have money doesn't mean you found love. Now this man it was so easy for him to to rekindle a relationship with someone from school when they met up later, and that lady had supported his dream and she became pregnant immediately, and life was good. She was shopping for the wedding in Paris, and this woman was like, all along you kept on telling me these would be my places of shopping. Now you're getting and giving all this to someone else, until she ended up killing everyone in the in the movie. But anyway, getting back to where we're talking, it is so easy to love someone if there is money. But can you love someone that is broke? Love them through their brokenness until they make it. They've also got to be promising in chasing after their dreams. I want to read some comments. It's a live chat. Go ahead and drop in the comment section your take on, can you love someone that is broke but ambitious? And Shaboya says it's not expected for men to marry broke women all the time. Sometimes it's okay to be at the same level. Okay, that's, yeah. And Roger says money talks. I was waiting for Rogers to say something. Money talks. Rogers, I need to know. This is what I asked. Are men expected to build with broke women? Are you expected to settle with broke women as men? And are women judged more harshly for dating broke men? Rogers, I need your take on that one. And Cedric, if you're listening in, I need to hear from a man's perspective. Or Barricade, if you're still on, I need to hear from you. And Dina says, no, 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 no. Because ambition does not put food on the table. Because once a man receives money, he may opt for another woman to match the expectations of the current change. Yeah. Men normally do that. The moment they get money, they start looking the other way. They start being like, oh, I can afford her. What does she need? How much would it cost for me to get her? They start putting prices on love. That is why we also come falling for you. Not because we love you, but because we love your account. So you need to get that also straight, that there are times when ladies fall for your account or your wallet and not for you per se. But I think true love can really bank on a broke person and loving them out of poverty. I don't know what you guys think. And Dina says, bro, Roger, money is the root cause of all evil. And Roger says, Dina, even for me, I like a woman who has money. Rogers likes someone who has money. Yeah, actually, it's the new thing in Uganda. I don't know when the dynamics changed. Men are now looking to marry well. They come and study a family, realize that family is set. Their kids go to these schools, they went to these countries, they work, they own these businesses, and they set themselves up very well for such. Men are now changing. Yeah, they don't want to marry someone who brings nothing to the table. It's got to be you bring something. Rogers has put it. I wanted to hear an opinion from a man, but it is good to hear your opinion as well, Rogers. And TJ says, Dina, you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself because you said money is the root of all, is the root cause of all evil. So you're contradicting yourself. You said if you're not, if you're broke, you cannot even go to heaven. Now you're saying money is the root cause of all evil. That's why TJ is saying you're contradicting yourself. Speak aside and stay on it. Yeah. Now, the culture double standards in relationships across Africa, the West, and beyond. Would you date someone who is broke but passionate about their dreams? Like I said, halfway through, we've finished all that. Now we are on emotional burnout. You can really burn out supporting this person that is broke in building their, they are going while they are building, burning out in building phase of the relationship. What happens when ambition feels like a burden? You start feeling like, man, I started off well with this person, but now I feel like it's now burdening me. What happens, guys? I need to hear. And there's a comment that has just come in that I want to read from Single Dad.